Hey everybody, Stuart McAdam here, and welcome to today's video, which is answering the online marketing questions which people have presented throughout the week. This has come in from LinkedIn, Facebook. A couple of people have left comments on YouTube as well, asking for tips and advice. So got to try and get through as many as possible in the time available. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. First question comes from Aaron, which is, does marketing have to do with digital dependency? What does marketing have to do with digital dependency and mental health? Well, obviously you want to present something which is going to resonate and connect with people, and you want to do that in an honest and ethical way. You don't want to create marketing strategies and tactics that are dishonest or fraudulent in any way, and you've got to be able to understand as well that with online marketing and what it's become in the last couple of years, it's changed rapidly. So you really want to be able to connect and engage with people in the digital platform and environment. So that would be kind of like where I would say to get in. Next question. How can digital marketing be used to enhance the profitability of an international business? Good question. Digital marketing is able to connect with audiences that you wouldn't normally be able to connect to if you were doing traditional local-based marketing. So if you look at radio, print advertising, and other forms of marketing which were quite common in the 60s and 70s, it was very difficult to reach an audience that was more globally based rather than domestically based. So it's definitely something that has provided extra exposure, and it allows these global companies to reach people with their advertising. And a lot of that advertising can be voiced over. If you have a look at a company like Coca-Cola, for example, they could have the same advertisement, but they could have 25 different voiceovers for 25 different languages. And yet the message will be exactly the same, and it will resonate, and people will see those advertisements and go and buy Coca-Cola, and the cycle will repeat itself. And in terms of a company like, say, Amazon, for example, they tend to have a very flywheel-based model. So people use Amazon, and then they leave reviews, and then their friends see their reviews, and then they go onto Amazon and they buy a product, and the cycle repeats itself. So those are some of the ways you can enhance profitability for an international business. It's opens up a door of opportunities to people that you wouldn't be able to reach in any other way. Okay, next question is from Tan, and that question is influencer marketing dead? I would say no, but it's certainly come under a lot more scrutiny in recent times. And if you have a look at the amount of people that are no longer using that in an like influencer marketing effectively, it's often because influencers are presenting them with numbers rather than results. And the biggest thing that you want to look for is how much you paid for the post, what your return on investment is, and what the overall level of engagement was. So if you're an online booking company and you're getting some influencers on board to promote that, if you pay them $5,000, you'll want to see a return in excess of $15,000 to make it worth the while. Otherwise, it's just, money that's getting frittered away. And you also want to make sure that you reach out to some of these influencers who are what you call rising influencers. So those who are slowly developing an audience and a following and have a good level of engagement, but don't quite have those numbers yet to justify charging $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 for a post. Okay, next question is from Johnny, and Johnny's question is, should you be the face of your company's social media accounts? That is entirely up to you. If you're somebody who's comfortable in being in front of the camera and you've got the type of personality that doesn't mind being the face of the brand, then that's absolutely fine. If you would prefer to detach yourself and have someone else be the face of the brand, or have a character or trademark or whatever it is as the face of the brand, then that's totally fine as well. It really just depends on your type of personality. Personally speaking, I am the face of my brand because my business is my name, stuartmcadam.com, Stuart McAdam Marketing, McAdam Marketing, go through a couple of different monikers depending on what channel I'm on. And it's easy to identify. If I was to rebrand, it would probably be to something like, New Zealand Small Business Marketing, or New Zealand Business Marketing, or international marketing for small business, something like that, which sort of provides a pretty clear description as to what I'm all about within the description. So that would be my next thing. Next question is a very good one, actually. It's from Yolanda, and she asks, why do most people not get marketing? Well, that's a very good question, Yolanda. The main reason why most people do not get marketing is because most people are not communicating common problems in a way which really speaks to people. They're trying to sell something rather than provide value. And those that are trying to provide value are not able to communicate it in a way which resonates with the people who they're targeting. So one of the common things with marketing is that you've got to be trying out a lot of different things in order to make it work. And if you're not doing that, then you're really just sort of staying stagnant, and you're hoping that the results that you're getting, or the message that you've communicated and the creatives that you're using are going to resonate enough with people for them to want to engage with you. And the challenge with that is, if it goes wrong, then you've spent a lot of time and money and resources and so on investing in something which is actually costing you money. And if you, whether you're working for someone or whether you're working with your own business, it's not good. You've always got to treat it as if that's your money. The whole OPM argument, other people's money, it doesn't fly. You should be thinking about that as if it's your weekly paycheck that's being spent there. And if you're not producing a good return on investment there, then that money needs to go elsewhere. And if that money's not working well elsewhere, then it needs to go somewhere else again. And figure it out until you've got the right messaging and strategy. So that's a very good question. Why do not most people not get marketing? It's because, one, they're either trying to sell something rather than communicate the benefits of using the product or service, and those that are trying to communicate the benefits aren't doing it in a way that resonates with people. Next question is from Minoti, that is, what is the best way to promote my academic services? Well, I would say probably the best thing you can do is to look at, what it is that people are looking for as far as like what sort of services you're offering. I mean, if you're a tutor, maybe it'd be helpful to go and join an online forum or platform which tutors are a part of, and then you can promote your services in a very easy and effective and user-friendly way. And if it's something that's a little bit more leaning towards something else, then that could be something that you could maybe advertise yourself using, say, Facebook lead generation ads, or having your own website or something like that. And it really just depends on what your preference is, and you've got to start looking at more where the people that you're targeting are spending their time. and that involves a little bit of market research. So I would recommend that, and I'd also recommend to those who are watching, and I can see we've got 2 people in here right now, to go and have a watch of my Facebook lead generation ads strategy, because that could be a very effective way for you to really build up a good following. Next question is from Gary, and he asks, do I need a marketing degree to become a marketing analyst? The answer to that, Gary, is you probably will find it very difficult unless you've got your own business to really become an effective analyst, unless you've got some sort of training in the marketing software that's available. And the thing that a marketing degree offers is it provides an opportunity for companies and organizations to see your ability to interpret data. And it doesn't just have to be a marketing degree. It could also be like a degree in finance or accounting or anything like that, which shows your ability to look at numbers and make, sound recommendations. So the answer is yes, it's possible. Never write it off completely, but you've got to have some sort of training in something if you don't have your marketing degree yet, in some sort of analytical software, or spreadsheets or databases or whatever it is that these marketing analytics are coming out from these days. There's so many different platforms, and if you specialize in just one of them and learn it inside out, you can actually do really well for yourself. Next question is from Mike Dennis, and that question is, what is the best and fastest way to promote a local restaurant in your neighborhood? Good question, Mike. You'd want to have a look at really introducing yourself probably to your neighborhood in some sort of way. And that could either be by having, a neighborhood day. You could have an online platform like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn that is promoting just to your local area. Would make it as easy as possible, like maybe even have a neighborhood special if you've got like particular items on the menu that you find people who come to your restaurant tend to order more, and just run a couple of specials and really look to engage your local community, because if they're engaged, they're more likely to purchase from you. Next question is from Michael Stephen, and Michael Stephen asked, what, in your opinion, are the most frustrating and time-consuming tasks when you're developing your marketing messages? Very good question. Most frustrating things are, especially if you haven't done a lot of market research, is trying to create as many angles as possible that are not related to your own, personality. So for me, like, I'm probably a bit of a split personality. Like when it comes to work, I communicate very directly. I just want to get things done. I'm not interested in having long socializing sessions. I just want to get things done. When it comes to my own personal life, I'm sort of more of the opposite, somebody who enjoys spending time with people. And when I'm engaging with companies and people who I'm buying from, I like to feel like I'm not just a number or a statistic. I'm actually like a valued customer. So, developing it for people that are more detail-oriented or people that are super creative, coming up with those messages can be quite challenging and sometimes very frustrating as well, because those messages aren't always resonating straight away with people, and it does take time develop that and to really get people going and engaged with those different messages. So yeah, that's a very frustrating thing, and it does take a while to get right. Next question is, what's the best way you can market your products? And that one is from Canola. Look, I would say Facebook lead generation ads far and away right now. If you've got the opportunity to promote your business in that way, that you should be taking full advantage of it. It's just so unbelievably powerful, and it's effective, and you can try different things out. You can engage people and effectively. You don't have to redirect them to a landing page and hope they convert from there. It's all in one place. It's effective. You can try different things out, and you can get results if you are patient enough. Next question is from, who is this from? It's from, they've just disappeared here. It doesn't mean me just get them back up again. Next question is, how social media marketing helps a business in COVID-19? Well, people have to stay at home. You know, that's the reality of it. There's no other ways you can sort of just send people out willy-nilly at the moment with the lockdowns that are happening around the world. You know, people have to stay home in many parts of the world, and they're not able to, you know, sort of connect and engage in ways that, you know, they previously would. And the data and analytics which are coming out at the moment show that a lot of the people who are working from home and, you know, not going into work are actually in spending more time on social media and spending more time actually looking at that kind of stuff, like at products and companies and that sort of stuff, and they are just as likely to engage as well. So I would say to, you know, with that kind of thing, it's a very effective way because you can communicate your, you know, benefits of your messages and that sort of stuff. But I wouldn't recommend going too overboard with mentioning COVID and rebuilds and that sort of stuff. I'd just say sort of stick to what, you know, you're all about, and don't try and fluff anything. Let's go to the next question. So that is, what are the most widely circulated fake advertising hacks? Well, there's quite a lot. Biggest one I've noticed at the moment is that probably boosted posts on any platform I don't find are very effective. And anyone that's suggesting boosted posts has got to stump up some pretty convincing numbers to change my mind on that one. So I would say, yeah, it would be boosted posts on platforms. How much does it cost to hire a social media marketing strategist? You could be paying anywhere from $5 an hour to $500 an hour. It really just depends on how much help you're looking for, what the complexity is, and the scale and scope of your project is. If you're a small business that's just starting out, you're probably going to pay, you know, towards the lower end, between $5 and maybe $50. If you're a large corporation that's looking for the absolute best, you'll probably be paying anywhere from $100 to $500 an hour, possibly even more, if you want to get like the top 1% of the top 1%. And look, those aren't set figures. A lot of these companies sort of work on sort of retainers and strategies and that sort of thing. So I wouldn't say don't take my word as absolute gold. Just have a look around and see what options are out there. Next question is, why would an artist not want to market themselves on social media and try sell their art? Well, maybe they don't want to face the public scrutiny, which may come their way negatively of their artwork, which they've put a lot of time and effort into completing. It might be because they have, a large demand for their artwork already. So it's already selling at a level where they don't need to go and publicly promote themselves. It could be down to having other channels which they're promoting their work on already that's getting very good results. So it could be any number of reasons, and it really just depends on what that person is like. Maybe they're just not someone who wants to be on social media. Next question is, should you be using social media for business? You should, because social media for business is effective. It's powerful, it's dynamic, it's, you can reach such a wide number of people. And if you have a look at just Facebook and LinkedIn alone, LinkedIn especially was designed to get people using it to build connections with people. So I would say, yeah, that would be my reason. It's certainly a very effective platform to really sort of drive engagement and reach an audience that you never would have been able to reach any other way. So next question is, why is there so much scrutiny around WordPress and Google Analytics? Well, I actually saw I saw a video like that the other day, which was talking about this new platform, and it's really getting stuck into WordPress and also Google Analytics as well. There was another company that was talking about how it's the better alternative for reporting software metrics. And yeah, I was just really surprised as to how kind of vicious they were, because Google Analytics and WordPress are very solid, reliable, and dependable platforms. And if you use them right and set it up correctly, you can really get a good user experience out of it. The challenge is that a lot of the time people actually don't use it properly, and that's where a lot of the challenges come up with that. It's not set up properly, and then it creates problems that didn't exist before. And then all of a sudden you find yourself with a platform with two platforms that you're completely underutilizing, and that's something which isn't very effective. Next question is from John. What social media platform would you recommend the most for a services professional? Right. I would say you'd want to definitely use LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a network platform for people like yourself, and you want to use it to like connect with people that you are targeting and going after, and you can start conversations and you can build, you know, sort of very effective virtual networks with people that can really help you grow your business in a way that, you know, is pretty impressive. Um, Next question I've got here is what is some questions that you would ask a digital marketer? And I'm sorry for the slight lag in this. Some of the questions that are getting asked have already been put to me before, so I'm just having to sort of skip through a couple of them. So apologies for that if not sort of going quite on purpose to make the video longer or anything. It's just sort of out of necessity. So next one is for, just keep on going. How effective is content marketing and SEO? That's a good question. Content marketing is still very, very effective, you know, and it like drives a lot of online marketing in general as as an entire strategy. You've got to have a good content plan in place, and you've got to make sure that your messages are aligning consistently, and make sure that a lot of the people that you're reaching are able to, you know, see exactly what it is that you're offering. And you've got to make sure that you've got to make sure that it's relatable as well, and it's actually sort of like speaking in a language that people can understand. So, you know, sort of to give you one example, like your Google ad strategy should be similar to your Facebook ad strategy, should be similar to your blog strategy. All those three things should be communicating in a similar language and style that really just connects with the target audience that you're going after. You know, you don't want to be going after people who are just sort of like randoms and people that are not interested in your product. Your focus needs to be in that sphere which, you know, people are interested in, and speaking in a language that does resonate with those people. It can't just be, you know, mindless drivel, and it can't be inconsistent messaging as well, because if it's inconsistent messaging, if someone sees that you're talking in a very formal, proper way, and say they are a corporation that's looking for former help in a formal and proper way, then, you know, if they go onto your page and see that it's kind of like an everyday, casual, laid back type of lingo, then it's not going to generate very good results, is it? You know, you're kind of going to be stuck with people that, or stuck with, you know, potential clients that don't actually know what you're all about. So content strategy is a huge part of that. Next question is, how many digital agencies do you have in your area? That's a good question, actually. I don't think I've had a look at that answer. Like, I mean, I live in Tauranga, New Zealand, so let's just pull up the Google Maps, YouTube Maps right now. I'll actually pop that in the link and I'll share that with you guys so you can have a look at it. Oh, the link's too big. I'll just give you the thing to search up if you want to see it. So just in the Tauranga area alone, I can see here just on Google Maps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 social media agencies. Just agencies as well. If I was to go to Rotorua, what have we got here? Digital marketing agency. So in Rotorua, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 digital marketing agencies in Rotorua. So there's definitely quite a bit of, competition out there, but I welcome the competition, and I always look forward to, locking hordes against competitors. Some of us are operating in very different areas and provide very different services. But for those who, offer services that I'm directly competing against, I say bring it on, because it, means that you're able to improve your services rapidly, and you're never taking anything for granted. Next question. Do you need your own website to work as a web marketer? No, you don't. I answered that in last week's FAQs. But I'll answer it again. You can be operating on LinkedIn. You could have freelancer profiles on places like Upwork and Fiverr. So it's, a pretty effective, you can be pretty effective without a website. I tend to get most of my website work away from my website, but that's probably because I don't do very much work on optimizing and improving my website myself. I've got a team of people that look after that stuff, and there's a reasonably small budget to make sure that happens as well. So that's probably why that is. Next question. What have we got here? It is a question from, who's it from? Gina. Gina asks, what is the most effective ROAS measurement? It would be cost per acquisition. Don't worry about, like, cost per lead and cost per strategy call and all that stuff is important, but your cost per acquisition for a client and their lifetime value which they provide you is the most important metric. So if you're paying, putting $1,000 of ad spend into something, and the lifetime value that customer that you convert is $10,000, and you can do that once a month, then you've got a very good thing going. If you're finding that it's more expensive to advertise rather than to retain clients, then look, you probably just want to look at moving more towards the organic forms of outreach, as it may be a better match at that moment in time. Next thing you want to do is make sure that you see how effective you are at developing strategies and brands. And hello, Jonathan Killing. It's very good to have you tuning in. Thanks very much. If you've got any questions, just pop them into the comments section. More than happy to answer them at any time. So next question is, what do people look for in a marketer? First, I'd say it's a couple of things. First thing is it someone that they can work with? Is it someone who they can trust with not only their marketing campaign, but also with their brand's reputation as well? Is it somebody who can get results? Is it somebody that's able to take criticism well? Is it somebody who has got a good temperament? Is it somebody that can adapt to a strategy that may not be performing very well? Is it somebody who can scale a strategy that is working well? So those would be a couple of things that you'd want to keep an eye out on, and make sure that that person is, who they say they are. Maybe get them to share a couple of case studies with you. And if there's someone that's just starting out, just ask them a couple of questions that will get them thinking. So one such question could be, if you in a situation where you've got $10,000 of advertising spend, and you've got to do Google ads, you've got to do Facebook ads, you've got to do LinkedIn ads, how would you use that marketing budget? And how long do you think you would need before you would start seeing results that are effective and engaging? And if someone's able to give you a reasonably good answer, then look, I would say take a chance on them. Maybe not give them $10,000 off the bat, but maybe give them a small project to start out on and see their ability to really drive and engage people. Next question is, how can I automate my digital marketing agency? Well, go and join an email marketing platform like MailChimp and have a look at the email automation software. Look at Facebook and Google ads, set up landing pages, and also e-commerce stores. Automate everything on those platforms and make sure people are really looking at how going through the process that they're able to get what they need in exactly the way they want it, in a timely and prompt manner. So everything should be connected up to each other. So the thing that you want to do is you want to outline a strategy. And I'm just going to type that into the comments right there. So you got Facebook ads, you could have LinkedIn ads, Google ads, landing page, conversion email process, and also e-commerce store with conversions, so with automated payments systems. So that would be the fundamental building blocks in which you want to do there. Obviously, in order to get there, you've got to map out the structure as to how people will get from, say, clicking on a product that they want to invest in and buy versus the process to getting to the end, what the payment system will look like, how the money will arrive in your account, what emails they'll get if they abandon cart, if they click add to cart but don't go in, what remarketing ads you're going to be showing to the people as well, and also what type of information that they will be given upon the purchase of the product as well. So next question is, can you work 2 to 4 hours daily as a part-time digital media marketer? Of course you can. If you're somebody that's, skilled enough and has got a good reputation as somebody that's reliable and is able to produce results, and if that's, enough work to keep you going throughout the week, and depending where you live in the world, then absolutely it's a good idea, or it's doable. Next question is, what is the most amount of time you spent working ever in a day or a week? Great question. Most time I've spent working in a day was 14 hours. It was a very, very long day, pretty much from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep. It was working on 4 different client projects at once. And that actually wasn't the longest working week that I had as well, which was, I would say, either 60 or 62 hours from memory. So it was quite a long and intense working week, but definitely something which was very rewarding as well, because I had my best week ever financially on that week. Next question. What are some marketing models that have stood the test of time? Oh, it's been a while since I've had a look at marketing models. I probably have to go back to university days to sort of get very familiar with that. But I would say the product, place, price, promotion would be one of them. That was a very strong one. That's definitely stood the test of time. Porter's 5 Forces is definitely one that has been incredibly helpful for developing a good framework, business framework, and a marketing framework for an online strategy. Because if you're looking at the new entry threats, buyer power, supplier power, and threat of substitution of your product or services, it really gets you thinking in a very holistic and encompassing way that you wouldn't have had if you had just sort of focused on the other things. Next question is, how does one know which small business to trust when purchasing services on social media? You can go and have a look at that company's reviews. You can see what other people have said about them. You can ask people that have purchased the product what their thoughts are overall. Many of the big companies that are advertising, or people that are advertising on social media, rely on good feedback to keep their business model going. If you have a look at a company like consulting.com, they thrive on things like that. So they definitely need that user feedback and information to share with the wider world and with people who are working in areas like online services and courses. They also need that good feedback too. So, people are going to be reviewing their products, and they, if they're really confident in their product, they're going to welcome that feedback. If the feedback's not so positive, then maybe they, will disappear or go somewhere else. All right, so I'm going to answer 2 more questions. If you've got a question that you'd like to ask, just pop it into the comments section here. I'm happy to have a look at it and answer it as the last question of the day. And the next question is, how did you start your advertising agency? Ooh, probably don't want to answer that one because I'm more a online marketing company or business than I am an advertising agency. But there are some very interesting ones out there that you can go and find. Some of them are quite unique, actually. I was reading about one guy who started an agency just when he was driving along the highway one day, and he saw a couple of billboards, and he thought that they didn't really speak and resonate with him as a person, and he just decided to go out there and prospect different businesses, and sure enough wound up starting a very successful company. What technical skills are employers looking for? Well, talking from a marketing perspective, website development, graphic design, social media marketing, email automation, email coding. Those types of skills are sort of very valuable and high demand, especially at the sort of web development and custom web design, because there's a lot of sort of places like WordPress and Squarespace and Wix and so on that sort of give you a simple drag and drop thing. But some of the companies need something that's a bit more comprehensive and, have a platform that's a little bit more secure. So you definitely want to be looking at something that is maybe, a bit more comprehensive than that. What's on offer at the moment. So final question, is there any questions that are coming in here? Nope, there's no questions in that chat right there. So final question is, let's have a look for a good question. I'll just pop it into Quora and see what comes up. So this is a question from the last hour. Okay, none of those questions are very, very relevant, so we'll go to the last day. Here's a good question. Why do most marketers look at the wrong analytics rather than the analytics that matter? Well, that's a very good question, because it's probably going to affect their ability to justify why they should be kept at the company. And that's something that does have a huge bearing and weighting on the company itself. You want to have a look at just those key data analytics. It's just like how many people are going into the website, how long are people staying on the landing page, if you're promoting a webinar or online course or training? What is the conversion rate? What are the things that you can do to improve that conversion rate? Is it way too low? And like, how can you possibly make it better? How can you get more skilled people in there that are really sort of wanting to engage properly with it? Also want to have a look as well at like that cost per acquisition that I mentioned earlier on. Why is that important? Because that's the sort of the end game. Like, if you've got, say, a product that involves recurring billing, like, someone's got a membership to your platform, then if you're able to get them in at the right time and you're really able to drive traffic home, and you're able to get those customers on board, then that data that you're looking at, the cost per acquisition, is vital. Sort of CPC and click-through rate and that sort of stuff is very important, because if you get that wrong, then obviously your ad isn't very good to begin with if that's way too low. But if it's getting sort of getting them through, but then the landing page provides a poor experience, you can really sort of like nut down very quickly and identify what the problem is, because the end goal is to sort of have someone, say it's cold traffic, to have somebody see the ad, to resonate with that ad, to click through to the landing page, to then go through onto that landing page and have that pain point resonated and reinforced, and have people really connect with it, and then go through and fill out the form either for a free consultation or purchase the product or whatever it may be, and really just get the people in that end-to-end cycle. And if you're looking at the right data and the right information, it really allows you to sort of see at what stage you're optimizing there. Because if you're looking at the wrong data, then you're going to find yourself in a bit of trouble. And I am going on a bit of a tangent here, but I think it's important to say the reason why you should be only looking at certain data metrics is because if everything's going wrong, then you should be looking at everything from end to end. You should be looking at ad statistics, landing page statistics, conversion statistics, sales statistics. If, say, for example, you're only getting a small amount of traffic and it's very expensive to get people to the landing page, but all the people are converting, well, maybe then you just need to look at your ad messaging and creatives and content and that sort of stuff to really sort of drive them home, as opposed to really just dragging your heels through the mud. I'm going to ask one more question here because I can see that we've still got 3 people on the broadcast right now. And that is, where are the most effective social media tools being kept at the moment? And that is a very good question, which I think anybody who's watching this broadcast now should be having a look at. I'm just going to share a link with you once again. And this one's actually, marketing on a tight budget, because if you're a small business that's just starting out, you probably want to get, some of the most cost-effective ways to really promote your business. So have a look at those, because those are the tools that can really sort of give you a bit of a heads up. So I'm going to leave that there, guys. It was, I hope, session that you really found helpful and effective and useful in your small business journey and digital marketing journey. My online marketing questions and answers for the week, I try and do it once a week, sort of here on Friday, New Zealand time. It's, a great way to connect with people and engage with people. So if you did find this useful, I'd highly recommend you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I try to have videos like this out as much as possible and as frequently as possible. If you want to know a bit more about my channel, you can do so by clicking on the link that I've just shared now. And that will give you a good overview of who I am, what I do, and some of the things that I've got experience with. I am going to be doing more videos about specific areas of digital marketing again, because the feedback from that has been very positive from people all around the world as well, like with new subscribers and those who aren't subscribers yet. So stay tuned. There are going to be some great videos coming up, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.